Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Wekiva High School welcomes you to Mustang Arena for Varsity Boys basketball competition and the last of our 4 games in our quadruple header. Please welcome our guests from Boone High School. They are the Braves. And they'll be taking on your Wekiva High School Mustangs. Let's meet the teams. We'll begin with our guests from Boone. And we'll start for the Braves at power forward and center with 6'3" sophomore, number 1, Joey DePryor. At guard, 6'1" senior, number 3, Matthew Cleaver. At guard, 6'3" junior, number 5, Javion Phelps. At guard, 6'3" junior, number 10, Will Searle. And finally, for the Braves at shooting guard, 6' senior, number 24, Shikio Sproul. The head coach of the Braves in his 5th year at Boone, Mr. David Martinson.
I really want to know.
And now let's meet the starting lineup for your Wekiva High School Mustangs. Starting at point guard with 5'10" sophomore, number 3, Jamaric Hannon. At shooting guard, 5'10" junior, number 4, Watery Roberson. At shooting guard, 6' junior, number 10, Isaiah Lester. At power forward, 6'2" junior, number 12, Nikhil Edward. And finally for the Mustangs at power forward, 6'3" junior, number 21, Asael Caballero. The head coach of the Mustangs, Mr. Justino Lubin, in his 6th year at the helm of Wekiva. And a warm welcome to those of you joining us for the live stream. Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs, here with Neil Fisher from the Apopka Chief, ready to take you through some special Saturday basketball action in the last of our quadruple header games.
That's right, Mark. 4 games today, 2 JV, to Varsity Boys and Girls, and it's good to be back here, as we always say, at Mustang Arena.
Yes, indeed it is, and we've been here for kind of a while today, as we're going to get a steal by Caballero, and the Mustangs will take a possession here off of the Braves' hands, and it's been a rough start to the season for the Mustangs. They've had a lot of things to like, but also not turning it into any wins on the record yet.
Absolutely, Mark. Unfortunately, Wekiva's yet to win a game. They're 0-3. Of course, they lost the first game to Masters Academy. That was part of the Metro versus Florida Challenge.
Second chance basket by Asael Caballero to put the Mustangs on the board. And then the real heartbreaker. Strike that was Hammond.
Yeah, Mark, and I know you began to say the heartbreaker, but the two losses since then, I'd say both of them were heartbreakers. Of course, a final score of 1 point to Colonial earlier this week, and the opening of the district. In like a 2-3 period.
And now Boone lets the ball go out of bounds. Mustangs ball.
And going back, Wekiva has given up major runs in each of their last two games, which was the difference between winning and losing. The Colonial game, they were up 35-26 about midway through the third quarter.
Joey DePryor, coast to coast for a Braves dunk.
Midway through the third quarter, Wekiva had that 9-point lead, and that really, they turned the ball over, I believe, 5 times at the end of the third quarter. So you definitely had an impetus for that run, which carried Colonial to the victory.
Joey DePryor is fouled on the putback attempt. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. The foul is called against Mustangs number 10, Isaiah Laster. That's his first personal foul on the team's first. Checking into the game for the Braves, Michael Bright and Daniel Cross.
First foul of the game for Wekiva. Boone, of course, has one as well. So Wekiva catching a big break there, neither free throw good. Points left on the table there for Boone.
Swing to Laster there. Roberson doesn't have anything either. They'll swing through Edouard back to Hammond, to Caballero. And finally a three-point taken by Roberson, but it's no good. Hammond gets the rebound, though, and another chance for the Mustangs to take another spin at it.
And Mark, again, we're probably going to keep saying this for at least the first half of the season.
Isaiah Laster draws the foul. He'll go to the line and shoot two. The foul is called against number 22, Daniel Cross, on the push. It's his first personal foul, and the team's second.
And the reason we talk about Wekiva in terms of they're doing some good things and some bad things, not quite sure what to expect, nobody returned who saw significant time from last year's team.
And lots of personnel changes.
There were 3 players who were on the team last year. Of course, as I mentioned, none of them saw significant time or time during critical games. They were all sophomores or juniors. Laster is one of them. Of course, Tristan Bryant is another one. And who's the third? Oh, and Donovan Stokes is the third one of that trio of players who were on the varsity team last season and saw any amount of time. So again, Wekiva, Coach Lubin, philosophical approach starts with man-to-man defense. Boone's playing man-to-man throughout the game.
Three won't fall for Bright. Chases down his own rebound, though. DePryor too hot at the basket. The rebound goes to Stokes.
So Wekiva, again, talked about them getting off to fairly strong starts, at least for the first 3 games this season. Getting a little bit more specific, strong start on the defensive rebounding end.
Hold is called against Tristan Bryan, his first, the team's second.
As Wekiva now has 6 rebounds here in 4.5 minutes, 5.5 minutes. And again, Wekiva man-to-man defense are going full court at the start of this game. And also like to point out that since Wekiva is getting 6 defensive rebounds, that means Boone has only 1 on the offensive end.
Helps to Cross for 2. Daniel gets the ball taken away from him. DePryor to Cross for the Braves basket.
And that's the first lead for Boone here at 1:30 of the first quarter.
Yeah, they're on something of a run here, if you can call 6 points a run this early in the game. Stokes, no.
Probably not the best field goal there, leaning backwards and 2 men in his face.
Offensive charge called against Will Searle, his second, the team's third. That was taken by Tristan Bryan. Mustangs ball.
So neither team getting off to a strong start here in the turnover department. Both actually have 4 now. And of course, remember, we do count offensive charges as a turnover. We're not being specific. Just if you lose possession of the ball without taking a shot, that's considered a turnover.
Cross gets the rebound after Edouard misses. Jumper no good for Searle on the other end. Rebound goes to Roberson.
So now the pace of the field goal percentage is slowing down somewhat. Both teams have missed on their last two possessions. And we've seen a lot of up and down the court action as far as bringing the ball up the court, but we have yet to really see a lot of either team really taking quick shots here, forcing the action right away once they cross midcourt.
Offensive charge is called against number 10, Isaiah Laster. His second personal foul, the team's third. It turns the ball over to the Braves.
Both teams have been, I guess, say, somewhat deliberate in their approach to taking shots once they cross that midcourt. And of course, Boone with the opportunity here to go into the second quarter on a run of 8 consecutive points, and certainly they've taken momentum away from Wekiva.
And that takes us to the end of the first quarter, and it is a one-point ball game. A real defensive slugfest here at Mustang Arena. Open up this varsity contest. 6-5, the Braves lead at the end of the opening 8 minutes.
Did you, have you set up these?
We'll be back. No basket. Offensive charge is called against Michael Bright. His first, the team's fourth. Mustang basket by number 12, Nikhil Edouard, to open up second quarter scoring. And that puts Wekiva back in the lead.
Yeah, Mark, I was going to say, if you joined us late, Wekiva actually took a 5-0 lead, and then Boone scored 6 in a row. So not only a low-scoring game, but also both teams have scored, kind of found their mojo, if you will, here in spurts and stretches.
Traveling Braves ball. Checking into the game for the Mustangs, Tristan Bryan.
And of course, I mentioned there in that first quarter that Tristan Bryan is one of only 3 players who was on the team last year. And Wekiva is a very young team. We really don't have anybody who saw significant or key moments during games on a consistent basis. And certainly the 0-3 start bears out that youth and inexperience. As you mentioned, some good and some bad through the first 3 games.
Boone basket by Joey DePryor.
So DeBryer there, textbook under the paint play, backing his defender down, and then turning around and 360 into the basket using the backboard.
Nikhil Edward for two.
Stop, pop, and drop there for Edward, as I like to say, Mark. Good pass, used the bounce in order to get it to him.
Phelps can't get it to go. Foul is called against Tristan Bryan, his second, the team's fourth. Checking in for Boone, Andrew Piccolo.
And 4 fouls for both teams here, Mark. I believe this does count as an offensive rebound. And Wekiva, as I mentioned in the first quarter, has done a good job on the boards here. They had 7 defensive boards in the first quarter, which means Boone only got 2.
Sproul picks up 2. So that puts the Braves back on top. And we're going to get a block. Foul is called against number 5, Javion Phelps, his first, the team's fifth, and that will send Hugh Roberson to the line, shooting 2 for the Mustangs. First hits. Checking in for the Mustangs, number 23, Jalen Hicks. out of bounds, and it is a team rebound for the Mustangs.
So again, Wekiva's got some breaks here at the free throw line. DePryor has now missed all four of his free throws.
Hugh Roberson right down the paint for two.
A great body control there by Robertson, especially once he got off the ground. Maintained leading forward status.
Mustang foul is called against number 23, Jalen Hicks. That's his first personal foul, the team's sixth, and Matthew Cleaver will be at the line shooting two for the Braves. So now both teams will have bonus in their favor for the rest of the half.
Cleaver has yet to score any points, and he remains off the board. He does have 3 rebounds. And I believe Boone, this is their 5th and 6th free throw attempts. I believe they've yet to convert. So they're now, I believe, 1 of 7 from the line. Actually, 1 of 6, excuse me. But the point is, Wekiva's getting a huge break at that free throw line. Missed opportunity and points left on the table by Boone. So now under 2 minutes. And we're going to get some free throws here. As you mentioned, Mark, we are now in the bonus for both teams.
Foul is called against number 0, Tristan Bryan, is third, the team's 7th. At the line shooting will be Chico Sproul.
And Sproul with only 2 points. Again, Boone now 1 of 7 from the free throw line.
Steal by Hicks. Returning to the game for the Mustangs, Shamar Hammond. Also back in, Nikhil Edouard.
And Boone again in man-to-man defense.
Offensive foul is called against number 4, Q Roberson. That's his first personal foul, the team's 8th. No bonus shots on offensive fouls. Returns the ball over to the Braves.
And Roberson there was trying to set a pick, got too aggressive, and moved his body. Is Hicks 12?
No, Nick is.
Nick Eduardo is 12?
Yes.
Oh.
Hicks is 23.
Oh, okay. So Eduard there was called for the foul. And as we mentioned, Boone was 1 of 8 prior to those 2 free throws. They finally get some points here at the free throw line and take a 15 to 13 point lead. 55 seconds left, Mark. Again, only 28 points scored combined. I think this is very representative of Wekiva being such a young team, but certainly not Boone, a team that comes in with a 4-0 record. Couple misses there by Boone. Wekiva doing a nice job, even though they gave up the offensive rebound, now allowing Boone to lean into the basket and get a good look. So I've mentioned throughout this first half, and now with 21.7 seconds left, Wekiva's been very strong on the defensive end, rebounding. They are now up to 12 rebounds on the defensive end. Looking to get this last shot here. As we mentioned, both teams are much more methodical and deliberate once they cross midcourt.
Q Roberson for three, and that will be the last word of the first half.
And certainly the way you want to end that first half there, Mark, not only momentum, but certainly we go to halftime.
That takes us to the end of the second period, and we've got a 1-point ball game in the Mustangs' favor thanks to that last moment three. 16-15 is your score at intermission. Here in our fourth and final game of our Saturday quadruple header. The Braves have the opening possession of the third period. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs, here with Neil Fisher from the Apopka Chief, and we are ready to take you through the second half of a scrappy defensive contest that has been frustrating both sides, as we're going to get a three-point basket open, second half scoring for the Braves.
Yeah, Mark, that's right. I don't think you have to be the proverbial basketball guru when you look at the score and see only 31 points have been put on the board. Certainly field goal percentage reflects the low score. Neither team shooting the ball well. 30% for Wekiva, 6 of 20 from the field, 6 of 21 for Boone. That's 29%.
Q Roberson answers with a three for the Mustangs.
So no sooner do I talk about the teams combined with a 29.5% field goal percentage, and they open the second half here with a pair of trays. However, the difference has been at the free throw line. That's 3 of 4 for Wekiva. Boone is 3 of 9. So Wekiva getting less free throw opportunities, but the higher percentage, making the most of fewer opportunities.
Javion Phelps is fouled on the attempt to go to the line and shoot two. The foul is called against Mustangs number 10, Isaiah Laster. That's his third, the team's first this half.
And Wekiva also has an advantage at the three-point range. Also, if you remember, Q Robertson closed out that first half with a tray. So that was their only tray of the first half. They were 1 of 6. And the advantage, another slight advantage, is by Wekiva and turnovers, 9 for Boone, 6 for Wekiva. So again, Wekiva is not dominating in any of the stats, and you'd expect that with a 1-point lead. However, they do have 3 categories where they have a slight advantage, and of course that added up to the 1-point lead. Rebounds, by the way, were actually slightly in Wekiva's advantage too, 15 to 13.
Kleber for three, no good, and the rebound goes to Caballero.
And both teams open up in man-to-man defense as they have throughout the first half.
Look at that. Isaiah Laster from the baseline for a jumper.
So Wekiva, again, only 6 of 20, 30% in that first half from the field. Certainly that percentage is going to go up. They are now hit 2 of their first 3 in the second half. half. That was a trend, offensive rebounding. Wekiva established and took advantage of. They actually had 5 offensive rebounds scored on all of them.
Offensive charge is called against Joey DePryor. That's a second personal foul, the team's second. It turns the ball over to the Mustangs. So back-to-back offensive fouls now called against Boone. And we're getting a bench warning called against Boone here. Technical foul is called against the Boone bench. At the line, shooting 2 for the Mustangs, Q Roberson. Well, can't say they didn't warn him.
Yeah, 2 consecutive possessions there. A warning was issued to the Boone bench. So again, mentioned when I went over the stats there, Mark, Wekiva actually was leading. The difference was, along with Q Robertson getting that 3-point field goal at the end of the first half, they also made 3 of 4 free throws compared to 3 of 9 for Boone. And that continues here. They are now 5 of 6. And as I always mention, Mark, I always feel it really hurts the team when they are called for technicals, not necessarily the 2 points, but the team that shoots gets to keep possession of the ball.
Foul called against Mustangs number 11, Jared Bryan. That's his first personal foul, the team's third. They're going to say that was on the floor, so no shots taken for that. This one will result in shots. Mustang foul is called against number 11, Jared Bryan, his second, the team's fourth. The basket by Will Searle is good. He's at the line shooting for the 3-point play.
Smart play there by Searle. Saw the contact coming and leaned into it to make sure that he got the +1.
Tristan Bryan for 3.
Well, Wekiva's three-point field goal percentage has certainly picked up. They've made 3 here in the second half.
Mustang Arena. Mark Barchi here with Neil Fisher, ready to take you to the finish line here on this quadruple header. Mustangs out to a 5-point advantage, 28-23 is the score. And we're going to get Tristan Bryan opening up fourth quarter scoring with a 2.
And now a 7-point lead, Mark, here. And looking at the statistics, really reflect this low score, but also reflecting Wekiva, I guess say methodically or maybe deliberately kind of taking the lead there.
Will Searle is fouled on the attempt. He'll go to the line and shoot 2 for the Braves. The foul is called against Mustangs number 12, Nikhil Edward. That's his 3rd personal foul, and the team's 5th.
At halftime, Boone had actually only shot 29%. They've actually dropped even a little bit lower. They are now at 23%, 8 of 35 from the field. Wekiva, of course, nothing to write home about, to use an old cliche, but they are actually shooting 33%, 10 of 30. Again, that's not anything to write home, but compared to 23% Boone is shooting, that's about a 6-point advantage, make that 5-point advantage. They also have an advantage at the line, even though Boone has actually scored 6 points compared to 5 for Wekiva, but Wekiva's gone only 6 times to the free throw line compared to 12 for Boone. So 5 of 6 for Wekiva, 6 of 12 for Boone.
Isaiah Laster down the paint for Mustang layup.
And I say that's an advantage at the free throw line because Wekiva's made much more of their opportunities in terms of turning those opportunities into points than Boone has.
Well, as we head toward the last 6.5 minutes of this contest, certainly this is a game that has the potential to be a real morality boost, or morale boost, I mean to say, for the Mustangs, who started off with an 0-3 record and now have the potential to take a victory against a 4-0 team. So for as many games as they narrowly lost, a narrow win here I think would be a real spirit raiser as we head into the holidays, and we're going to get a 30-second timeout requested by the Mustangs. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Mustang Arena. 6:33 to go here. Mustangs up 32-25.
And both teams have remained in man-to-man. You've seen that throughout the whole game.
Foul is called against number 0, Tristan Bryan, his fourth, the team's sixth. Second is no good. Edward on the rebound.
And again, Boone's free throw woes continues. They're at 50% now, 7-15, and more points were left on the table there.
Traveling. Raise ball.
Now Wekiva, they've gone man-to-man the whole way, as we mentioned, but they have switched between full court and half court. We're seeing full court now.
Block there. The Fryer.
Now we got a game of turnover here, hot potato.
Foul is called against number 10, Will Searle. That's his third personal foul, the team's fourth. And we'll pause for a timeout. Full timeout taken by Wekiva. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Mark Parchi here with Neil Fisher, ready to close this one out.
And taking a look here at the stats as we're now almost halfway through this fourth quarter. Thought we were going to have a turnover.
Well, we had two in a row, actually. Checking into the game for the Braves, number 3, Matthew Kleber. For the Mustangs, Isaiah Laster. Welcome back to Mustang Arena, 3:54 to go. All right, welcome back to Mustang Arena. Back-to-back threes for the Braves have erased the 6-point advantage for the Mustangs, and now it's a tie ball game with 2.5 minutes to go.
And both of those possessions ending with that 3-point field goal came to be because of turnovers. Now a third consecutive turnover by Wekiva.
10 seconds in the backcourt. Braves ball.
So I mentioned before the timeout, 2 timeouts ago, there's about 4.5 minutes left. Wekiva had done a fairly decent job in the turnovers, only 13. They've now committed 3 consecutive possessions.
Joey DePryor is fouled on the putback attempt. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. Mustang foul is called against Asiel Caballero. That's his first personal foul. And the team's 8.
And Mark, we've also talked about the fact that 2 of 3 Wekiva losses, they had the lead entering that 4th quarter. And unfortunately, this is looking all too familiar to Wekiva Nation, giving up that lead late.
Yeah, and I hear the coaches complaining in the background about the 10-second call in the backcourt that Wekiva's gotten on back-to-back possessions. Of course, we have it on tape, so if you want to go back on the DVR on YouTube and find out was that actually 10 seconds or not. The 10-second rule in the backcourt, the 5-second rule under close guard, and the 3-second rule in the paint, those are kept by the referees, not by a clock operator, as opposed to the shot clock, which we don't have in high school ball, and of course the game clock.
And the turnover festival continues.
Yeah,
4
that one,
consecutive.
there's just, you can't blame the officials for that. Mustangs just flat out threw that away.
4 consecutive now. I was going to also mention in regards to DePryor missing the 2 free throws on the last possession, they've missed 9 now. That's continued throughout the game.
Phelps to Searle for 3, and the Braves take the lead.
The rotation, though, has been spot on the whole game there. 3 passes in the paint, then they got to the outside.
Asael Caballero draws the foul. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. The foul is called against Braves. Number 10, Will Searle. That's his 4th personal foul, and the team's 5th. So we got a few players in foul trouble. Tristan Bryan and Isaiah Laster both have 4 on the court for the Mustangs, and Will Searle just picked up his 4th for Boone. So we got 3 players, 2 for Wekiva, 1 for Boone, that are 1 foul away from being disqualified, and that can definitely disrupt your game dynamics, especially with a close contest and just 84 seconds left.
And also here with Caballero at the line, I was actually going to mention Wekiva shot the ball very well, and I actually feel they have an advantage because they have a higher percentage, even though they have not shot anywhere near the amount as Boone. 5 of 6 from the line, and Boone is only 11 of 20.
And here they missed 2 in a row from Caballero, and
yeah, they had the advantage and gave it up.
And now the Mustangs are staring down the barrel of a 70-second clock that suddenly has turned from their friend into their enemy.
And now, of course, as you would expect, alluding to what you just said, Mark, a more deliberate and thinking pace here for Boone.
Yeah, Boone has no reason to try to make a play that they don't like. They can wait for an open shot like that one.
So something of a break there for Wekiva.
Yeah, he was wide open, and Searle just was a little bit off the mark there. And
Boone had been hot from 3-point range. They're making 4 of their last 5.
Yeah, I don't disagree with the decision. I think it was a perfectly smart play for Boone. It just didn't fall for them. And here Caballero is going to lose the ball to a steal by Sprawl. And at this point, Wekiva's got to think about getting themselves into bonus.
And again, Mark, hate to say it, it's painful, but the reality is turnovers, and we've seen this, it looks like for a 3rd consecutive game, giving up a late lead.
Jamar Hammond is called on the foul. It's his 1st, the team's 9th. At the line, shooting bonus will be Javion Phelps. And now the Mustangs have to go into that desperation defense where you have no choice but to put them at the line and hope they miss and you get the defensive rebound. But that will not happen. Timeout, Boone. Full timeout called by the Braves.
So Phelps up to 11 points now, 8 of 9 from the line, and he's the only free throw shooter who's shot consistently.
We'll be right back. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Mustang Arena. We have 2 free throws coming to Javion Phelps. He took 1 of them and made it before the timeout. His 2nd is also good.
And real quick here, Marcus, 23 seconds are left. The story's been the same here for a 3rd consecutive game. Wekiva's given up a late lead, and turnovers has been the catalyst. 5 turnovers on the last 6 possessions make that 6 on the last 7. And I don't think you need to be a basketball guru to understand how that translates to giving up a lead.
Foul's called against number 11, Jared Bryant, is 2nd, the team's 10th, and that will put the Braves into double bonus. At the line shooting 2, Javion Phelps.
So as we mentioned, Phelps now up to 12 points, 9 of 10 from the line. Boone as a team has missed 9 free throws, but they fouled the one guy that you cannot afford to foul, the guy who shot 9 of 10 and now 10 of 11. Make that 11 of 12 now.
So now we're out to a 7-point Braves lead as the Mustangs have just fallen apart in the 4th quarter here. and they're going to go ahead and concede this one.
Yeah, and in the closing statement, I know I've said this several times here in the last minute and a half or so, but you really can sum it down to one word: turnovers, turnovers, and turnovers.
Yeah. That takes us to the end of the ball game. The Braves, with a come-from-behind 7-point victory, 41-34 is the final score here on Saturday afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you so much for coming out to support your Brave and Mustang athletes. Mustang fans, we hope that we will see you on Monday as we have a triple header for you. We already had Leesburg on the schedule at 6 o'clock and 7:30, and this just in, we are adding our first ever freshman girls game before that. So if you'd like to come out and join us early on Monday, we hope to see you there. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Wekiva Sports. Make sure you like and subscribe while you're there. Once again, thanks for coming out and spending part of your weekend with us. Thanks also to those of you who joined us on YouTube Live. We appreciate your patronage. Please subscribe before you go. For those of you in the arena, please drive carefully and arrive home safely. Have a good night and a great weekend.